Thank you for being here today and throughout this trial. Your role now is the most important one. You have the chance to hold Yankee Doodle accountable for their necessary lack of care and for their negligence. You can ensure that this situation never happens again. For those jurors who may maintain that Julie Fisher's injuries were not real, you could tell them three things. You could tell them that her treating physician documented her pain getting progressively worse. You can also tell them that her doctor diagnosed her with a nerve root irritation at the first sacral nerve root, as well as a disc injury, and that a CAT scan confirmed this diagnosis. You can also tell them that her doctor then treated Julie for these injuries with a very risky procedure. Her doctor documented her injuries getting progressively worse. He did so over the span of the 2 years leading up to this point. He documented her symptoms and her level of pain every time that she went to see her doctor. Her doctor made sure that he wrote down all the symptoms that Julie had been experiencing. Her doctor suspected this injury due to the level and progression of the pain. Her doctor testified that he knew her pain was real and that her injuries were severe. Her doctor then performed a well-known, well-recognized, reliable test on Julie's back, the CAT scan, to confirm this diagnosis. You all saw this CAT scan. You saw that Julie's injuries were in fact real. You looked at the CAT scan and you saw exactly where this injury occurred. That can't be made up. The procedure that the doctor did to perform and help treat this injury is a very risky procedure. He took a large needle and placed it into Julie's spine. And this needle is not something that a doctor would just arbitrarily do unless they confirmed the diagnosis. You heard both doctors, Julie's doctor and the defense's witness, say that this test is not administered unless it's absolutely necessary due to the risk of paralysis. For those jurors who may maintain that Julie fabricated the story, Julie had no reason to fabricate this story. Julie loved her life and Julie loved her job. Her treating doctor testified that her injuries were real and that she was motivated to recover fully. Julie had an active lifestyle and was independent. Now she cannot work, she cannot walk, and is completely dependent, and no person would choose this kind of lifestyle. Julie had just moved to Nita City when she was involved when this injury occurred. Julie loved her job. She testified that she was progressing. She received a bonus. She would soon be promoted. She even loved Nita City. She loved everything about it. Julie loved walking everywhere, and she loved all that the city had to offer. Julie was active. She ran, she played tennis, and she went dancing with friends. Julie had friends, and she had a social life in Nita City. Julie's doctor testified that her injuries were real and that she was motivated to recover. Her doctor testified that Julie kept track and kept on top of her injuries, that she always made her scheduled doctor's appointments, and always did the treatment the doctor recommended. He testified that Julie had tried to go through the rehabilitation that was recommended to her, but she was in so much pain she was unsuccessful in this rehabilitation. The doctor testified that Julie always had a positive outlook, that she was going to recover, despite all evidence to the contrary, and Julie has not recovered. Julie's still trying to recover. Julie had an active lifestyle. She was independent. She can now not walk, cannot work, and is completely independent. Nobody would choose this kind of a lifestyle. Julie was living on her own, and she had been working since even before she was in college. She enjoyed the independence that working provided her with. Now, not only did she lose her job, she lost her apartment, she lost her independence, and she's now completely dependent on her sister, living in Georgia, not in Nita City, and living with a family member, no longer on her own. Julie no longer has the financial support of working on her own, which had originally provided her. Now she works part-time and is sometimes unable to do that. Nobody would choose to live that way. For those jurors who maintain that that this injury was fabricated, you can tell them those three things. You can tell them that Julie loved her life. You can tell them that the treating physician documented her injuries getting progressively worse. And you can tell them that Julie has always been motivated to fully recover. For those jurors who may claim that Yankee Doodle did all that they could have and that they were not negligent, you can remind them of three things. You can remind them that Yankee Doodle was grossly understaffed. You can remind them that Yankee Doodle is negligent in their installation of the staircase, and of the tread on the staircase, and of the handrail on the staircase. You can also remind them that Yankee Doodle was negligent in their placement of the trash receptacle at the very top of the stairs, where liquid is likely to spill out of it, where wrappers are likely to spill out of it, and where there was no mat surrounding it. The Yankee Doodle was grossly understaffed. This is not debatable. There was no maintenance worker for the stairs. There was no one assigned to clean these stairs. People were specifically assigned to clean the downstairs, and people were specifically assigned to clean the upstairs, but there was no one told to clean the stairs. Not until the end of the day, when there were no more people on the stairs, were those stairs cleaned. There were the same number of employees working during the morning hours, the slow time, as there were working during lunch, the time of the day where it was a question of survival, as the manager himself put it. Yankee Doodle was negligent. The only way to get from the lower level, the smoking level, to the upstairs, the non-smoking level, and it was a well-traveled staircase. Yet the necessary safety precautions were not taken. The tread was never replaced. Besides not cleaning the stairs, so that the debris, grease, and the light could collect, Yankee Doodle skimped on several other necessary safety precautions. Yankee Doodle never replaced the handrails until after Julie's injury. Yankee Doodle never replaced these inefficient and inappropriate handrails. These handrails were rectangular. Nobody's hand could grasp onto those should they fall like Julie did. Now, after Julie's injury, Yankee Doodle realized that they needed to replace these handrails, and they did. They replaced it with a recommended handrail, a round handrail that somebody can grab onto. Yankee Doodle was negligent. They were negligent in their placement of the trash receptacle. They placed the receptacle at the top of the stairs, where all the patrons in the upstairs must place their trash. There is a high likelihood that people are going to spill, and with nobody assigned to clean the stairs, there's a high likelihood that the spill is going to go onto the stairs, especially with no mat around the garbage can. There's only one garbage can that accommodates all those people upstairs, and that garbage can is located at the top of the stairs. So, for those jurors who may contend that Yankee Doodle was not negligent, you can remind them that Yankee Doodle was understaffed. You can remind them that Yankee Doodle was negligent in their maintenance of the staircase and replacing the tread and taking care of the handrails until after an injury occurred. And you can remind them that Yankee Doodle was negligent in the placement of a trash receptacle at the top of the stairs. Yankee Doodle must be held accountable. You can ensure that this happens. Your role now is the most important. You can ensure that justice is served and that injuries like Julie Fisher's never happen again. Julie's injuries were real. They were documented. You saw the test confirming these injuries. Julie enjoyed life prior to these injuries, and now her life will never be the same. Julie is completely dependent upon people. She's lost her freedom. She has lost all of her independence, and she is in constant pain. That pain will never go away due to the negligence of Yankee Doodle. You can hold Yankee Doodle accountable for their failure to live up to the appropriate level of care. Thank you.